at one location. WhatsApp your book list to 876-298-1526 or visit them in Kingston at 5 Sandringham Avenue or their new location at Morant Bay Urban Center, St. Thomas. Call 876-618-7922 or 876-619-093122. Stationery World, there is meaning in our name.
Creative Building Finishes is celebrating 25 years of transforming Jamaican spaces. And we're saying thank you in a big way. Enjoy up to 25% off select items all year long. From bold tiles to breathtaking bathrooms and kitchens. Discover everything you need to create your dream space. Visit us at 5 Red Hills Road or online at creativebuildingfinishes.com. Creative Building Finishes.
Your beautiful finish begins here.
Jamaica. Our young people are world leaders, innovators, and game changers. They are creative, intelligent, bold, and they are champions. My youths, you have the power to transform Jamaica. Our country needs your ideas, your opinions, your solutions, and your support. Full time now, we kick out crime and violence, rape culture, unemployment, and all of the other problems in Jamaica land we love. I'm Empress Scolding, encouraging all young people to come make we talk up, pan talk up radio. Go on with it, youths. Talk up youth. Myself a talk up youth.
Talk up youth and talk the truth. I said the bush that representing for Talk Up Youths, here and nationwide, 90 FM, every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bush! Yeah. Yeah. 2-2 Bush loader. Ready, man? Yeah. Excuse me, no pagans. Can't seek validation. Toast and admiration from you nor your patrons. Posting about name brands. We cost over 8 grand. When me searching up the same one for the cost of a straight pants. Why own a Ferrari with nowhere to park it, boy? Why shop a Louis V when there is a target? Now me hype on my face thing. 2 minds me a save it. Them go fend if it trendy. Bank account can't empty. Acres over markets. Link me wife when me want. Cause when side girl read up, child support that lead up. Farming over plastic, investment over graphic. Inheritance for me seeds up. Me alright being made. Yo, if you are 50 and never make a brings get used, means you're poor so your kids next to employment you use as a big excuse. You want him grow so him get through. See him 24 hours so why you have to. When your kids do good you buy them jewels. Wang and Rajiv buy their own tools. We keep getting wealthy. Big when I sell on more piece. Nobody watch how me clocks lean. So start supply Walgreens. Stocks large when I plant trees. Them fields them out of burger go up on the mummer. You, sir. And it's a baker me bill from a buller. Send me a dispensary, supplying them with good earth. Acres over markets. Link me wife when me want sex. Cause when side y'all breed up, child support that lead up. Farming over plastic, investment over graphic. Inheritance for me seeds up. Me alright being mean. Do the earth tempting. Still watch how me spending. Budget 9 cold 12 board kid. Millions when them get big. Build up a ranch and rent it. Ground produce must plenty. Ice party vending. Each bag cost empty. Partner draw me fix mine. Invest back in a Bitcoin. Blockchain virtual gold. Demands inflate in time. Invest in my merch. Give back to which church? Pastor go look at work. Grab my farm then a dirt. Acres over markets. Link me wife when me want sex. Cause when side y'all breed up, child support that lead up. Farming over plastic, investment over graphic. Inheritance for me seeds up. Me alright being mean.
Education is the key for betterment in this modern time, Education is the key for betterment. Never waste your time, don't you waste your time. Bless and love. This is Warrior King. It's all about talk up youth, Cause the youth them are the future. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Keep in tune, don't move the dial. Rastafari. Reggae music rocking the nation. Good vibration.
Mastermind. Yeah. Me pray every time I feel can't do no different. Swear me half a win, that's why I'ma try again. Pray every time I feel, cause God always a listen. One day I have to win, that's why I'ma try again. Send me working hard while I'm still struggling. Minimum wage can't cover my bills. Somebody tell me how I'm gonna live. Me might complain, but me not giving. I'll do it now, sure. Only me and God know how my day go. While me have to make a bad drive out of town. I'm free, oh, my one forgot the place and down. Yes, me, Tanisha first starter. When me just start, me used to hear be laughter. But you me know say a time of the master. And everything I say I'm going do me, I go after. You see the free, that's why every day my OD. Just I get a girl from the east with a dream. I shoot for the top and me go bring you whole team. Every time I feel, can't do no different. Swear we have a way, that's why we try. Every time I feel, cause God always a listen. There I have to sin, that's why we try again. Nowadays me just want balance my mental enough. Must stop tell myself say I don't good enough. I know like say I just know life are rough. Me for keep on pushing and don't ease up. But even when I try stay out the way, crosses them won't see my break. Them not gonna live for see the day. Yo, I've been through enough, so please follow me. Can't turn to nobody when me get hungry. The blessings alone me wants around me. That's why me pray every time I feel can't do no different. One day I have to win, that's why I'ma try again. Pray every time I feel can't do no different. Swear my half a win, that's why I'ma try again. Shoot as it will be. We have to try again, cause we have to win. Have to rock for. We have to try again, cause we have to win. East side of a win, them can't stop a thing. Yeah, came up massive. Yeah, twinkle.
This is Naomi Cowan representing for Talk Up Youth. This on every Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Talk Up Youth. Me say Talk Up Youth. Yeah, you have to stand for your rights now. Now is the time.
Tell the people. In life. In life. Like royalty. Hey, if I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me have to set it in a right. Never ever have to think twice, no way. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me have to set it in a right. Never ever have to think twice, no way. Me used to sleep on Stagger Coach. Me used to sleep on Corey Coach. Them and they never left me out. Me used to live at Eddie House. Me never keep me own a key. She keep my used to let me out. Me bring him with me go LA. It's like a him get nominated. Watch the Grammy side of me. Cause how much people can you say would feed you when you're hungry, when you brought them bless you with money? But I have been so fortunate, surrounded by so many people, make sure say me compensating. And them the thing me can't forget. Your daughter and my daughter wants me living, she no happy fret. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy set it in a right. Never Never ever have to think twice, no way. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy set it in a right, like royalty. Hey,
man, I set it like G a card. Remember when me get me first under a card? Cartel say clocks up and it did record. Shell the world me first, it record. God me blessed them reaping the reward. Make me first meal, remember when me used to starve. Pull up Irish town Benz in a garage. Pops color protege, them cannot sabotage. Like a iPhone 11 summer charge. Puff my ganja in front the sarge. Right now them surprise, oh man I live. So me gain the blessing, yo I so me give.
hey, if I make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy.
Welcome to the Talk of Youth radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, coming to you right here on the best. I have to say that again. Yeah. The best revolution station in Jamaica nationwide, 90 FM. Whether you listen to us on the 90.3, the 90.5, the 90.7, and the 90.9 FM band, Digiplay or Flow, we are glad to have you here this morning. And you are just joining us on a very nice, sunny Saturday morning here in Kingston City. And you're listening to none other than the voice of your boy Malik. And today in the hot seat is Mr. Dynamic, Dr. Suave himself.
Good morning, Jamaica. And they know me as a producer boss over here on a Saturday, Malik.
You have too much alias. Which one is on your birth paper? You have Dr. Suave, you
so
have
many of
producer
them. Reverend,
Pastor, Reverend, everything.
It is Damon Scarlett.
Welcome, David. It's going to be Amaldamastic or Damalastic. You know, we always try to coin a name for ourselves. We need to really properly copyright this, episode today. Because today we are the voices of youth and elections. I mean, it's a season. You cannot not be in the season and not have the discussions. And young people have to be a part of the discussion. So today we're diving into an important topic that affects all of us. Youth and elections. We'll be asking the big question. Are young people really engaged in politics? And what's in it for us in this upcoming election?
Yeah, definitely. And in our What Say You segment, we're going to keep it a little bit light because we know the conversation is going to get very interesting, a little bit more heavier. Yes. So we're going to be having some thought-provoking questions for the youth, from politics with a cultural twist to election talk with vibes. So we'll find out from our young Jamaicans what they really have to say about voting, leadership, and the big decisions ahead. And of course, a little later on in our Youth for Chat segment, we'll be bringing in our youth voices from our two major political parties.
Yes.
And we know that with the PMP already releasing their manifesto, we'll be asking what's really in it for young people and how do both parties plan to earn the trust of first-time voters.
And then in our Youth for Chat segment, we'll be listening to some independent voices. Later on, two non-politically aligned young people will join us to unpack the big question. Why are so many young Jamaicans not showing up at the polls? And I think that's a very critical question to be answered.
Definitely.
And how do they view the promises being made in the manifestos? And of course, if the time allows, we'll round things off with a quick look at what's trending online, youth reactions, memes, and the pulse of social media around the upcoming decision 2025. We're here until 1 p.m. So listen to the Talk Up Youth radio show here or online at nationwideradiojm.com. That's nationwideradiojm.com, or get the Nationwide app in your relevant app store. You can also watch us on our YouTube at Nationwide 90FM. Good morning, YouTube family. Is Marigold on it? Can you check and see, please? Because the Nationwide 90FM family on YouTube is always here with us, keeping up on the beat. So keep it locked into the station you can trust. Let's switch over to the break.
When you brought them, bless you with money. But I have been so fortunate, surrounded by so many people, make sure say me go pathetic. And them the thing me can't forget. Your daughter and my daughter wants me living, she no happy fret. If I ever make it in a life, you are gonna be living like royalty. So me happy set it in a right. Never ever happy think twice, no way. If I ever make it in a life.
Korean solid surface, so versatile and beautiful. It's non-porous, no sealing necessary, renewable and repairable, so easy to clean and maintain, and can be thermoformed into any shape. Choose Korean, the #1 solid surface in the world, when you want beauty and the best for your countertop. Visit Home International Limited, located at 104 Constant Ring Road. Telephone 755-1970
or 276-6448. In Jamaica, your rights are protected by our Constitution. From the right to education to freedom of expression, every citizen deserves respect and dignity. But remember, with rights come responsibilities. Let's uplift and respect each other and stand against injustice. Together, we can make Jamaica a better place for ourselves and future generations. Know your rights. Embrace your responsibilities. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Mommy, I need new shoes, books, so many things for back to school.
Back to school pressure is real. Chris and Charles has your back. Get your back to school loan of $1.5 million with reduced processing fees, discounted interest rates, and fast approval. Win a fully loaded backpack for your child. Start school with less stress and more success. Apply today at any branch or visit www.chrisandcharles.com. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 53 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Talk Up Youth and talk the truth. I ask the Bush that representing for Talk Up Youth here and nationwide, 90 FM, every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bush.
When I look at where I'm coming from, I know I'm blessed, and I close my eyes and smile. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Babylon, and I've done my best, so everything's alright inside. Oh, every morning, I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air as far as I can. Stare at the sun, I know it is a blessing, yeah. Lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed, oh man. Ooh. Sometimes I'm lost and far from home, but I'll find my way. I follow my heart, I know I'll be found someday. While I'm lost, I learn and live. What do you say? Let's have a good time until that day. Oh, every morning, I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. So when the evening comes, I lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed, oh man. With my two hands in the air as far as I can.
Welcome back to the Talk Up Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the best revolution station in Jamaica. And like I always say, each and every week across the world, you're listening to the voice of Damon Scarlett, and alongside me today is
none other than the voice of your boy Malik. And today it's all about youth and elections. It is Decision 2025 here in Jamaica, and so it's not only the most opportune time, but we also want to be informed and educated why young people must be involved in politics, why young people must be concerned about the future of their nation in terms of governance. And so we're now in our What Say You segment, and if even you want to, chime into this discussion this morning, just call us at 630-9371 that's 9371, 9372, 9373, and 9374 to just joining this discussion now, because it's very important that we have these conversations about youth and governance. So I think, Damien, we can start off the discussion because, hypothetically, let's just say, would you rather youth decide the next national budget or choose the next cabinet ministers? Interesting question. Yeah. But, if you had the we could even do it like a Miss World question. If you had the opportunity as a young person to choose the next cabinet ministers or to create the national budget, would you, as a young person?
I would more lean towards the cabinet ministers.
But why? Why should young people be allowed to choose the cabinet ministers?
Well, one of the things that is important is that is a whole matter of leadership, and you want to be able to follow and ensure that you have good leaders around. When you look into the space, we would have been able to see the candidates who are on the ground, who are working, having an idea of what are some of their values and what they bring to the table.
Right.
Right. I'm thinking...
But do young people, because let me play the colloquially, the devil's advocate,
right.
or the nemesis.
Yes.
You know, people are going to say, young bud, no storm. What do you know about these people to determine that they should be cabinet ministers? Why should young people be given that opportunity, that very great responsibility? Remember, the cabinet. And let's inform and educate our listeners now. There's something called in law, separation of powers.
That's right.
There are 3 arms of government. The legislature. So all these people running for election now to become members of parliament want to sit in the legislature. And the legislature is the law-making body. So when you elect your MP, your member of parliament, amidst the bells and whistles and the fandangling of election and campaigning, it is important, not just for young people, but all our listeners to know, because many people never do civics. So let's give them the quick crash course now. Have to know that these people that you're electing to represent you will make up the legislature. And the legislature are those people who sit in parliament and create the laws for the peace, order, and good governance of us as a society. So when you hear certain laws being created, like they want to increase taxes, or they want to do this and do that, I know and say, what? You put them there to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize. So you have the campaigning and the excitement and the motorcade.
But
these people that you are putting in place from the legislature.
Right. But
then, because we're the cabinet now, the cabinet ministers now form a part of the other arm of government, which is the executive.
Right.
So the executive now is like, let's say, a club. You have your school clubs, the key club, your business club, and the executive are the ones who steer the decisions of the general group. So the executive now is the cabinet, which is made up of what? The prime minister and his cabinet ministers. So them even have more responsibility. And then, of course, the third arm, which is the judiciary, which is made up of the lawmakers. So having gotten that quick crash course and understand the mammoth responsibilities, why should young people be given the opportunity to name a cabinet?
Well, it's based on how the producer even stated the question. However, but I think as youth, though, not to say that the ultimate decision will be left with us, but we could have a say and a voice in naming or suggesting who we put forward.
I like that comeback because it's a matter of, I think, as you're saying, yes, you may be on the ground and you speak about leadership, but everybody can talk about leadership.
Right.
What I think is important is whoever is the representative, because still, at the end of the day, the pool of people from whom the cabinet is selected is members of the House of Representatives or even the Senate. For example, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, is a senator. So she sits in the upper house. We'll get into the whole bicameral legislature discussion later. But what's important is these people who have been selected by the Prime Minister to sit as cabinet ministers to run the various different ministries. I like what you have said, that young people should have a role to play in terms of being given that voice in terms of consideration. But to say that you're leaving the ultimate decision to them, I would say no. Because experience, expertise, understanding the runnings, young people know something, they don't know everything. And we also have to make sure we understand as young people, we're not titular, we're not a title. So not just there because we're a token and to just say, oh, we're ticking a box, young people are considered, old people are considered, people with disabilities are considered. No. We need to understand as well, we have a role to play, and we just want our perspectives to be considered by our cabinet ministers.
Well, I was grateful for Malik, because he understands the sector quite well. However, have we ever had I don't want to use the term situation, but have we ever had an occurrence where, for example, an incoming prime minister, head of our government, ever consulted with the people to say, who would you like to see in your,
that's a good
in
one.
your cabinet? Yeah.
Maybe not in Jamaica, but I don't even know if elsewhere in the world. That's maybe something we should research. But I'm sure the Prime Minister usually has consultations amongst his team, because the political party that wins the election becomes the government. The ruling party will become the government. So obviously internally he may have consultations, because no man is an island. Even though he's the leader or she's the leader, no man stands alone in terms of making the decision. But I like that maybe, and I think maybe even to the model that we use through Talk Up Youth, or brand overall. We used to have these town hall meetings where we invite the members of parliament to come out and have the discussion. That's a good opportunity, I think, to use as maybe like a standard that even the prime ministers could look at, to say, looking at how they interact and network and focus on the different interest groups to include youth. This is why I'd consider this person for this.
Right. So the prime minister then selects individuals from the elected members of the House of Representatives and the appointed members of the Senate to serve as cabinet ministers. These individuals are chosen based on their qualifications, experience, and their ability to contribute to effective governance of the country.
Right. So very, very mammoth responsibility. But I think, as you said, consultation has to be a part of the process. It cannot be a one-man job or a one-woman job. Encouraging all young people, man, woman, boy, girl, anybody can be prime minister, because you have the skill set and the experience that we want to get the job done. So I think young people should really actively play a role in, obviously giving their views, because the leaders must listen to the young people in terms of making a decision. But I think the flip is, or the harder one is, should young people be a part of the budget? Setting up the budget. What do they know about budget? What do they know about budget? I'm playing the bad cop to you, the good cop.
My response to that would be, I think they should be given a space to observe the process of making up the budget.
Boy, you come with some good people. But if you want to join this discussion, I think you need to join in this discussion, people. 630-9371-4. I get in the breaks in there, but joining this discussion, because youth and active involvement in politics is also active involvement in governance. So what say you? 630-9371-4. Join us after the break. This is the Talk Up Youth radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. Talk Up Youth, Mr. Effie. Talk Up Youth. We still come back.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Fantana, make me tell you about Fantana. Make me tell you about Fantana. Make me tell you about Fan. Nothing when me need to lock. New school year with me new backpacks.
Get all you need for back to school from Fontana Pharmacy. Shop from now until September 7th and get 15% off your regular school supplies. Conditions apply.
Let me tell you about Fontana.
Elevate your knowledge in the world of healthcare and pharmaceuticals at the 40th Annual Pharmaceutical Conference. The innovative conference is back and better than ever under the theme Pharmacists Leading the Future for Sustainable Healthcare. Join Nationwide 90 FM from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the Talk Up Youth and Design Studio on September 6th as we broadcast live from the Princess Grand Jamaica Hotel, Green Island, Negril. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. Join us for the most anticipated pharmaceutical conference of the year, only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica and Portmore Mall Pharmacy.
News time! Get ready for the exciting youth entertainment segment on the Talk Up Youth radio show. Yes, that's Bust the Youth. Listen every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
Are you between the ages of 12 to 25 and have creative talents? A singer,
DJ,
musician,
dancer,
comedian,
maybe the poet? Then we're looking for you.
Yes, that's Bust the Youth, Saturdays at 12:30 p.m.
To book your spot, send us an email at talktotur@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram at TalkUpYouth. You could be the
next big thing.
Talk Up Youth, Mr. Effie.
Talk Up Youth.
Creative Building Finishes is celebrating 25 years of transforming Jamaican spaces. And we're saying thank you in a big way. Enjoy up to 25% off select items all year long, from bold tiles to breathtaking bathrooms and kitchens. Discover everything you need to create your dream space. Visit us at 5 Red Hills Road or online at creativebuildingfinishes.com. Creative Building Finishes.
Your beautiful finish begins here.
And so we come to know these youths and show these youths. Talk up yourself, the youths to know them roots. Nurture them, protect and love and hear these youths. Use to make them know I love we show these youths.
Save the youth, not kill the youth. A build we come to build the youth. A trick and fool and kill the youth. A build we come to build the youth. Empower and inskill the youth. A build we come to build the youth. Youth in action, Jamaica. We are
build the youths there.
Our youth in Jamaica.
I've been praying for a break, praying for a way to get through. All I wanna do, yeah. All I wanna do is live a little, breathe a little, and go and enjoy life. Cause every more can make a mickle. No matter what you trickle, cause things so alright. All I wanna do is live a little, breathe a little, and go and enjoy life. Cause every more can make a mickle. No matter what you trickle, cause things so alright.
Welcome back to the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of Jamaican youth. And today we are the voices of youth and elections. Decision 2025. The election season's upon us. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Michael Holness announced the election date as September 3rd, 2025. And since then, obviously the focus has now been the gates have been flown open. Let's get to Decision 2025 with all the preparations, with nomination day on Monday upcoming, with the by-elections for certain local government seats upcoming. A lot has been happening. And so, of course, we want our young people to be aware properly of the information so that they can have edutaining and informative discussions. And today, we started off our What Say You segment with should young people be given the opportunity to name cabinet ministers and also to set up the budget. So, Damien, you were in the hot seat and saying something about the budget. Tell us again what you were saying.
Yeah, so I was saying that they should be observers of the process in terms of making up the budget. And, as we talk about the budget, so the national budget, of course, is the public record of the amount of money that the government intends to raise, which includes income and terms of expenditure to provide services such as healthcare, welfare, and security to its citizens. It functions as the country's annual financial statement, and of course, it is broken down by ministry and details the financial proposal for one fiscal year, which runs from the 1st of April until 31st of March. And of course, when we talk about the government's plan for social and economic development, we're looking at that's further breaking down into estimates of
wide category. But so again, young brother knows that why young people must be involved in this process.
So if it is that we are concerned about, so young people are concerned about specific areas of the national development. So such as things such as healthcare, education. And within the youth space, we have youth advocates that are passionate about these areas. So if it is that we want to champion these causes, then I think being a part of the process also helps us to have a clear understanding that, okay, then when a government says this is the amount of money that we have put forward, or you understand
why it is the way they do what they do,
and why this amount is allotted and so on. So you get a better understanding being there at the table. Well, not necessarily making the decisions, but you're
being a part,
whether
through observation or doing it. And I like how you mentioned, being there at the table, because I think it's also important that we reflect and remind our listeners and our viewership that young people do get these opportunities to be at the table. So though the questions seem very hypothetical, like, oh, young people must be getting a chance, or is that token thing? No, because they do get a seat at the table, because through, for example, the work of the Ministry of Education, Youth, Skills and Information, you have programs like the Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica that gives these young people the opportunity to be involved in the working of different ministries, departments and agencies. And at the same time, where we could go even further is making sure that they get the opportunity responsibility as the youth advisors to properly advise. Give the youth perspective on these issues, whether it is cabinet selection or budget debates or anything, as you're saying, where they can give their perspective, but not just give their perspective in a way which is a talk shop. There must be some permanence to it. They have to write. Because young people can't just talk and have no substance. You have to do the research, you have to write and then contribute in that way as well, based on your experiences as a young person, but also in your research. And then, as you were hinting to a while ago as well, through the National Youth Parliament of Jamaica. And I think just this week, the Youth and Adolescent Policy Division within the Ministry of Education, Youth, Skills and Information, wow, that's a mouthful.
It is.
Just selected and named the young persons who will be the 2025 National Youth Parliamentarians. I just want to congratulate all those young people who have been selected to be youth parliamentarians. And November is Youth Month, it's our month. And Talk Up will be very big in Youth Month this year. I'm speaking it into being, Mr. Producer Boss.
Noted.
And so,
Minister, please speak to us.
And through, obviously, the National Youth Parliament, they get the opportunity as well to share their views and perspectives. So not just a titular thing like, oh, young people, yeah, man, we're going to give them a steady table. They have the seat. How they are using the spaces makes a difference.
So what I want a little bit more clarity on, and maybe for our leaders, I don't have the statistics here with me now, but in my mind, I'm thinking therefore then, do we have enough of our young people on these state boards, or more of our state boards, so that they're not only observing, but they're participating.
I like that. So I just say that's where now I think the monitoring and evaluation aspect, the M&E comes in now to say this is what works. So the SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, achievements, threats. This is what worked. This is what we could improve upon by including more. Because, for example, the Youth Advisory Council is a specific group, one to each ministry. But is that enough? Is a question that has to be asked. Does that one person, because think about the workings of a ministry has many different subparts and committees and so, can that one young person, while still managing to be a young person, because all work and no play makes Jack and Jill dull, manage all of that? So you may need to include others in the process. Or are there other avenues for young people to participate? Is the question I think that should be asked as well. But 630-937-1274, and if you can join us on YouTube in the discussion, we want to hear from you as well. Should young people be involved in these processes, like creating the national budget, selecting cabinet ministers? But I think there's another question I think we need to tackle as well.
Second question here. The producer today is really stretching us, would you rather vote using a mobile app or still go in person on election day?
What your answer? Because me have a lot to say on this whole voting process in Jamaica.
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth? No. You have to utilize the space that you've been given to speak. What is in your brain right now?
All right, so what would I rather do? As interesting as the mobile app option seems, advancing technology and all of that, I think I would want to still go in person.
Having the thrust that COVID-19 pandemic has created this seismic shift in how we communicate, how we interact. Why you want to go in? I remember now. But you're a good cop today.
Thankfully, we're out of that.
Yes, but I'm saying the culture that has been creating thereafter is we now have an ICT, information and communication technology penetration, wherein the person who you thought was the slowest person in your class have IT can use. So why you still want to go in? Why you want to waste your time? For go join one polling station, and if you forget your idea, if you go to 50 billion vote, stamp your finger in an ink what can come out of your hand. Why you want to go in?
I guess
we're playing bad cop to good cop.
Yeah,
you have to justify to the doubtful Thomas why you want to go in.
So I'm thinking about and I'm going to use the term experience.
Okay.
All right. The experience of it all. Just the fact that I'm not to say that if you do it online you won't have the same experience, but the fact that you're going. Hold on, Malik. The fact that you're going out physically into the space. To cast your ballot, right? For the party or your representative of that party. I feel as if that as an individual, that it gives me, I guess, a more pride and joy to go and exercise that right that I have. Being out there in the space, seeing it all happen, the fact that I'm walking into
The polling station.
The polling station. Seen a moment
like,
there.
No. I clearly that's I'm going to say clearly even the social studies at school. But I'll give you a B plus for that answer. You know why?
Why?
Because as you said, the experience. But I would go even further because if I am speaking to a doubtful Thomas, I think there are two sides to the story. So yes, I'd agree with you on side one that you have to go in and go vote. Why? Because yes, the experience, but I'd go further to say, in 1944, universal adult suffrage was granted to us as citizens of this country.
Are you going deep into
No, but you have to. You have to explain to the people. No, you're talking about experience. You have to explain to them, this was a right that would have never been thought of people back then.
True.
Or contemplated by our foreparents. So when universal adult suffrage was granted to the people of Jamaica, it was no longer a privilege, but a right.
All right. Agreed.
So therefore, we need to make sure, even by standing in a polling station line, casting our ballot, and thereafter dipping our finger in the ink, we are honoring our foreparents in this way for the right that they fought for. But
which get a chance to
do
and to add your say to how the country
should be. Well, So you have to add that extra caveat to make them understand. Say this thing where you think say just easier, you can sell your vote and so. There were our parents before who never even had this opportunity. But I like what the producers say. But the technology. But before we even get to the technology issue, let me get to where my bonnet is. Because you talk about you want to join line for vote. Think about the average young person today. We're busy with our lives. We have lots of things to do. We have our own agenda. But the young person is going to think, I'm very busy. I'm very busy doing a lot of things about my personal life. It's all about me in my little bubble. Why should I have to go to a polling station? But I'll even add an extra cog in the wheel. In Jamaica currently, and I saying it to you in the break, which is a big my bonnet. When we think about the corporate area, the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side of the fence you fall, not all of us who reside or coach in the corporate area are from the corporate area and prefer to keep our address where we're born and come from outside of the country. I'm not going into the country versus Kingston war now because you know where I stand on that. But what I'm saying, the point is, and would prefer to keep our vote or address where we come from. Why me must leave my life in my bubble to go all the way back to my habit? It's like, remember, Pastor, you can't talk about it. The census, remember when the decree happened and Jesus' parents have to go back and travel this long distance for go cast them, pay them tax? Okay. Why me must leave my bubble of my world to go all the way back to my gingeration place to go vote? Why can't I vote anywhere? Versus, because we're informing and educating our listeners as well, the armed forces who have to be out on the day of the election, the 3rd of September, 2025, get the opportunity, as you know, to vote before that date. And they can vote anywhere. We never reach diaspora yet, but just talk about first the people in my yard first.
Right.
They can vote wherever them stationed. So if that convenience is set up for them, what about us, the average citizen who aren't in the armed forces, being given the opportunity wherever I am to cast my ballot and it reach where it's supposed to reach? There must be that safeguard, I think, that needs to be put in place. And it's something that we have to think about. Because if in COVID, the elections in the US, persons were casting ballot by a post, they could. It shows the possibility exists. And so we are, as a society, and we say it time and again, very reactive versus proactive. Don't just wait until election season come to start thinking about these things. And this is something that in the 21st century we have to address. Why I have to inconvenience myself to go home? Yes, I want to cast, I have an interest in governance and so I want to vote for my MP down and so. Why me have to leave where I am currently stationed to go there to do it? Because as I was saying, that's really might open the door for other things like corruption. Because people go saying, you have to buy my vote, you have to pay my gas, you have to give me lunch money, you have to give me toll. Why? So that's something I think the ECJ, because the ECJ now, the Electoral Commission, is different from the EOJ, which is the Workers Underground Electoral Office, needs to consider. Because we need to show people, as a developing, we don't use third world anymore. Third world is derogatory.
Developing country.
As a developing nation, on our way to 2030 development, still waiting to hear the rest of that, and we need to have that discussion. Even though we have that discussion every week in terms of we at Talk Up Radio are all about the sustainable development goals, but on our way to becoming a developed country, need to look at things like this as well. Those conveniences. But with regards now to the On the other side, I don't want to vote online, but again, the safeguards have to be put in place. The safeguards have to be put in place to ensure that if it is persons are allowed to vote online, you're putting all the things to prevent, obviously, double voting. You know, even we're having the discussion before we came on radio, we're saying as well to the threats. Because we know threats are very, very much a part of the electoral culture of our country.
Right.
You know, I'm going to hear, hey boy, sit down and now, log in for your company now, vote as home and see it.
Yeah.
Because that's also something that would have to be protected. So I think that's a very interesting perspective as well. Anybody saying anything on YouTube there?
Yes, definitely. And I think we should just take these comments after the break because it's really buzzing over YouTube right now.
I can imagine because even, you know, our engineers are saying, but what about the diaspora? Well,
we'll talk about that on the other side of the break.
Stay, don't go away. This is Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. Talk Up Youth, Mr. Fit. Talk Up Youth. We still come back.
Now is the time. Youth for chat and youth for act and youth for unite right now. No silence, you youth. You have to stand for your rights now. Now is the time. Tell the people.
Parents, make this back-to-school season hassle-free and visit Stationery World and Book Center Limited. Get books for all ages, school supplies, uniforms, shoes, and much more. You can also get your office supplies and office furniture at one location. WhatsApp your book list to 876-298-1526 or visit them in Kingston at 5 Sandringham Avenue or their new location at Morat Bay Urban Center, St. Thomas. Call 876-618-7922 or 876-619-093122. Stationery World, there is meaning in our name.
Corian solid surface, so versatile and beautiful. It's non-porous, no sealing necessary, renewable and repairable, so easy to clean and maintain, and can be thermoformed into any shape. Choose Corian, the #1 solid surface in the world, when you want beauty and the best for your countertop. Visit Home International Limited, located at 104 Constance Ring Road. Telephone 755-1970
or 276-6448.
Elevate your knowledge in the world of healthcare and pharmaceuticals at the 40th Annual Pharmaceutical Conference. The Innovative Conference is back and better than ever under the theme Pharmacists Leading the Future for Sustainable Healthcare. Join Nationwide 90 FM from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the Talk Up Youth and Design Studio on September 6th as we broadcast live from the Princess Grand Jamaica Hotel, Green Island, Negril. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. Join us for the most anticipated pharmaceutical conference of the year, only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica and Portmore Mall Pharmacy.
Tune in to What the Streets Are Say every Tuesday during Affairs of the Heart at 10 a.m. From the corners to the calling line, we are trying to find out where the streets really are say. We are bringing the vibes from the streets to Affairs of the Heart. Where the streets are say about relationship, politics, just about anything you can think of. We want to bring the vibes in at the studio to Affairs of the Heart. Lock in to What the Streets Are Say every Tuesday during Affairs of the Heart at 10 p.m. Brought to you by Chicken and Things, rich taste of Jamaica.
Track and Field's global showpiece heads back to Asia for its 2025 staging. The World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan is live on Nationwide 90 FM. September 13 to 21.
Great start from Seville, who's got a little bit of a march on No Lyles. Seville's going to win this. Brilliant race. He even has time to salute.
How will the Jamaicans stack up? The likes of Kishane, Oblique, Nikisha, Tina, Sherika, and Lavelle, all seeking podium spots.
Really good running on the near side too from Tia Clayton. Tia Clayton takes it there.
And the world will say goodbye to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Watch for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
She brings the curtain down on her 18-year career. She goes back to where it all started.
And she's going to do it. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Live every moment from the World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan, September 13 to 21 live with a kind of coverage only Nationwide 90 FM provides.
Education is the key for betterment in this modern time, Education is the key for betterment. Never waste your time, don't you waste your time. Bless and love. This is Warrior King. It's all about talk up youth, Cause the youth them are the future. Saturday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Keep in tune, don't move the dial. Rastafari. Reggae music rocking the nation. Good vibration.
Welcome. Why? Chronics, left, right. Just soldiers are come, left, right. Ooh, yeah. Boy. And them say, here comes trouble, here comes the danger, sent by the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. I start recruit, soldiers for Selassie, army. Here comes trouble, here comes the danger, welcome the Savior, welcome the Rasta youths. You know for axes who at the general issue we no warning. Job people them a ball, said them tired of mediocre. Evil a go fall when we tried in Ethiopia. Believing from down, cause them life no easy boat. Even Bantan said it's not an easy road. Operation occupy the motherland, calling all soldiers to kind each other along. From creation, he writing a job plan.
Welcome back to the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, coming to you right here on the best Revolution station in Jamaica, Nationwide 90 FM. And today we are the voices of young people and elections. It's all about Decision 2025. And Mal and Damon have really been in the hot seat now, but we want to bring in some more people in the hot seat. But Damon, you saw some comments because we're discussing, a bag of things in our What Say You segment. Should young people be able to select the cabinet ministers, help create the budget, and also vote online or vote in person?
Well, yeah, so the conversation on YouTube is buzzing. Persons are talking about the importance of socialization and also having a solid character. Those persons who are going to go into representation of politics. We see they're talking about Reverend Al Miller and the party, the Jamaica First, new party, Jamaica First movement. So there's a buzzing conversation about that. As it relates to voting as well, there are some of our YouTubers who are weighing on that, basically talking about the protocols would govern that. And the last comment that I see here is talking about the importance of education. Rose McIntyre says that education to all of our Jamaicans worldwide, so that we can't lose with that. And she's just sharing her experience studying in London or living in London. Mm-hmm. And it says at a time when black people were not encouraged to get a good education. So it's a lot of things happening.
I like that. Good morning again to our YouTube family. Keep the conversation going. If you want to join in our conversation, 630-9371-4. But no, you can't have election season and Decision 2025 being discussed and not have the two major political parties in Jamaica represented in studio, the young people from the two parties. But I think it's also important that we explain to our listeners as well, because as our viewer just said there, education is important. So in Jamaica, we have what is called a bicameral legislature. That's first and foremost. We spoke about the lawmakers. Yeah. We have the upper house, which is the Senate, and those are members who are selected by the ruling party and the leader of the opposition. Members from each side, and there's a certain number for each. I won't have to go into that now. and the lower house, which is what we're concerned with now in Decision 2025, the House of Representatives. Everybody, my MP, the person you're electing to represent you in one of the 63 constituencies across Jamaica. So 63 members of parliament make up the lower house or House of Representatives, who also are part B of the legislature. So we spoke about the legislature, upper house and lower house. So that's why we call it bicameral, because bi means two. As part of our system of governance as well, we participate in what is called a first past the post election system. So there's also the proportional representation. Boy, my social studies, big up my social studies teacher, whatever them there. Judy Powell and Barbara. Let me teach you the name again. Miss man tell her. Jones, should I kill me? See? Yeah, yes. Can them teach me these things. But with regard to the type of system that we have now. So for example, in Guyana, they use a proportional representation, which is a complicated something about percentage of votes. So it doesn't mean that the person who has the most votes wins. But here in Jamaica, we use first past the post, which simply means FPP. The person who polls the most, I then get the seat. Yeah? So we also would have adopted this from our English heritage. What is used in England is the same system used here. And through that same English heritage, again, we birthed this whole understanding of, yes, there are other political parties, but it's mainly the two-party system. So it's usually two major political parties that contest the elections. And let us see if in our lifetime we'll ever see a third party even winning a seat. That would be very interesting. So we know generally we have two. We still have the NDM, National Democratic Movement, and now we have some other parties appearing. I think there's a Marcus Garvey movement at one time, and now Reverend Al Miller has created another party. But we are now joined in the hot seat. Okay, so we're now joined in the hot seat by two of the members of the two major political parties in Jamaica. We also want to welcome and big up Alex Mott, a member of the Young Jamaica, the youth arm of the Jamaica Labour Party, and Peter Gay. What's your last name again, Peter? Ferguson. How could I forget? The General Secretary of the PNPY, or the People's National Party Youth Organization. So you see, we have both sides to make sure the conversation is balanced and rounded. Welcome to the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, Alex and Peter Gay. How are you feeling?
Guys, feeling great, feeling ecstatic. Still on a high. Looking forward to today's meeting in Kingston and St. Andrew that I'll be hosting. I'm from Kingston and St. Andrew, so it is, exciting to be doing this for the first time in my hometown.
Welcome. What about you, Alex?
I'm just excited, and I'm looking forward to September 3rd. I'm really looking forward to it. I cannot wait to have the third term.
Okay.
That's really where my brain is right now. It's just getting past Monday, nomination day, and heading straight to September 3rd. And September 4th, back to the business of Jamaica.
Interesting stuff. What's the pulse on the ground? Because you both of you seem very confident, but what's the pulse on the ground from your neck of the woods, Peter Gay, and then your neck of the woods, Alex?
Well, for me, not say for me per se, but in the People's National Party, we're very confident, but we're not conceited, we're not arrogant. For the last 2 years, we've been consistently leading in the polls, and we're grateful for that. One of the things that I think works for us is that we have been on the ground consistently, or leaders or candidates, so it's nothing new. Now that the elections, we know it's campaign season, people don't have to be like, oh, come out of my yard, I don't want to see you, did there all these years, because our party has ensured that our candidates would have been on a work program even before local government. We have a few changes here and there, but they'd have been able to catch up because they'd have been working otherwise, and so we're grateful for that. Our manifesto, which has been creating a buzz, we see that people have been very receptive to it. There are a lot of plans for young people in it. We're talking about home ownership.
We'll give you the opportunity to go into the manifesto soon. We just want to hear about pulse on the ground. What about you, Alex?
Listen, the people are ready, The people are ready. The people see the work that has been done. Unlike the opposition, we have been in government, so we have been having to do the work. We haven't had the chance to sit and campaign. Our work is our campaign. So we can show, as you see, we released that achievements book.
Right.
Not a wish list. So we are able to say that we did this, we have done this, we will continue to do this, and we have more to do.
So I want to come in, and as you mentioned that, because since this is the youth space and the youth show, young people don't want promises. They want to see results, action. So apart from the Doing More For You campaign, what can you say that young persons are really looking for when it comes on to delivering?
The number one thing for young people I would definitely say is jobs. Because when we talk about employment, we're talking about a way of living, a way to feed your family, a way to achieve your long-term goals. Because in reality, all your goals require some sort of funding, whether it's to own a home, to own a vehicle, to whatever you want to own. It has to come with funding. Now, what we can say in the Jamaica Labour Party is that we have the lowest unemployment rate ever. Constant decline. It's just going down. Poverty going down. What does that say? We are providing a source of income. We're not giving people money. We're giving people the chance to earn money, which is what is important.
Interesting perspective. I think we need to get into some crossfire questions though.
Right.
So, further fuel the perspectives of both sides. So let's talk about, since you want to preempt me, manifesto now and track record. The PNP has released its manifesto while the JLP is expected to release theirs soon, but they have released the achievement booklet. Why should young people believe that your party will deliver on what is promised and not just repeat history?
Well, for sure, I can say that history has shown us that the PNP has been one of the most transformational vehicles in this country. When you talk about policies that would have impacted our grandparents, our parents, this generation, and those to come, we're talking about things like education. So we know that it was a People's National Party government who introduced what you call at that time common entrance, which allowed black kids or kids who were from, a lesser background to be able, once they had the intellect, to do their exams and get to go to a traditional high school. That's something that ordinary children could not access in Jamaica. We're still benefiting from that today. We're talking about no bastard, no day again. So, every children are born equal in this country. That is something, a legacy that you cannot take away from what the People's National Party has done. And those are just some of the things that we're talking about that are very transformational. We're still benefiting from today. So it's not something that you have to wonder if we've done it. You can feel it, you can see it, and you can see how that has shifted the country. Now what we're bringing to the table is the next generation, the now, the here and now, to do that again. We've done it before and we will definitely do it again. So it's not about talking about, unemployment is down and employment is up, because just the other day we realized that the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, put out a study that says that over 55% of Jamaicans are suffering from moderate to severe food insecurity. That is something that we cannot look beyond. So if you're going to say that, this is happening, the people aren't feeling it, and that is something that we have to address. And that is why in our manifesto we say, we're coming with the EASE program, because we understand that in order for children to learn and go to school and become their best selves, they need to ensure that, they have a proper, nutritious meal. We're not just talking about any meal that you give them or the PATH program where it's barely making ends meet now for them in school. PATH program is something that the PNP also introduced.
So you're saying it's about the action and not just a bag amount.
We are building on that. So we're saying to you, hey, we've done these things. The history knows, history will be kind to us to know that we've set these legacies in place. And we're coming to you now to say, hey, we've recognized, because what we've done, a part of the touring that we've done, or leader meeting with, young people across Jamaica on the university campuses and so on, they understand what the needs are of young people and the country in general. And that is why our manifesto is the way it is. It's a love letter. It's a commitment to the Jamaican people. It's not a promise. It's not a book where Jamaica is spelled incorrectly. Okay, you can't tell me if you choose Jamaica and you can't spell Jamaica. We're not.
It's a love letter.
And even
to
some of the
people.
things in the book are things that the PNP did, especially talk about disabilities and so on.
So we're going to pause you there again.
Yeah.
Right.
So your response now with your achievement booklet.
Listen, I'll start out by saying it is funny that Peter Gay went as far as to talk about Mr. BJ and people. If you think about who is running at the helm of People's National Party, they're not new people. Mark Golding is not a new person.
What do you mean?
He's not new. He has been in government for decades. Let's talk about Peter Bunting. He was previously a security minister.
What do you mean?
Divine intervention is his mantra.
So you're saying that they have older persons and not younger persons?
Older persons who are
what do you
leading.
mean?
I'll let you speak. Peter Guy, let you speak.
I want to understand what you're saying.
All right, so let me
finish.
respond.
What I'm saying is, when you start your speech by saying that we're introducing a new generation of people and new thoughts and new. No. You have the same people. You have the exact same people running through this party. Now let's talk about the East program, which is really and truly a waste of government fund in the terms of, here's why I say that. We have the PATH program.
Okay.
The PATH program is responsible for this sector of things, or if we feed the people who need it most, we ensure children have a proper nutrition. If we're going to talk about the manifestants spelling Jamaica wrong, choose Jamaica. Let's talk about you spelling churches wrong. Let's talk about you spelling strengthening wrong. I can go through that manifesto and find a misspelling on every page. So misspelling is not the place you want to go.
So tell us now.
Go on the website. Go on our website and pull up our manifesto. Go on our website and pull up our manifesto. Go on our website and pull up our manifesto. Go on our website and pull up our manifesto.
Hold on. So what we want to hear about is exactly because she came and gave us her slate of things on her love letter. So tell us about the achievement.
Okay, so let's talk about achievements.
His time.
Let's talk about
your time to his time.
Let's talk about achievements. So, want to talk about achievements? Let's talk about the most spent on roads ever. $7 billion last year. That's an achievement. Let's talk about most hospitals renovated ever. Yes, ever. Let's talk about lowest unemployment rate, lowest poverty rate. Let's talk about bringing the country through the worst pandemic in 150 years with no public sector worker losing a job. No public sector was declined. I can go through and through and through. I can
so these are
sector.
things
These are all achievements
in the achievement booklet as well.
All in the achievement book. And she's making mention to the manifesto online. Now, if I print something, I can't edit what was printed. However, if I post something online, I'm able to edit. Now, I have the document what was originally posted. Because, I'm someone who
so you're saying
both sides.
The responses will be different.
Yeah, if you're able to edit after, you cannot come back and say, I made the edit now. So you cannot pick it up.
So where we are now then is, hold on, we have the love letter from the people of Jamaica to the people of Jamaica and the achievement booklet. Stick and stay, don't go away. Let's talk up you ready more. More after this break. So you two have to ever come in and you know what we say when we close? Talk up you, Mr. Fit Talk Up You. So now I say talk up you, you have to say Mr. Fit Talk Up You. Alright, so this is the Talk Up You radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. And today we are the voices of youth and politics. Decision 2025. Stick and stay, don't go away. Talk up you, Mr. Fit. Talk up you. We still talk up you.
In Jamaica, your rights are protected by our Constitution. From the right to education to freedom of expression, every citizen deserves respect and dignity. But remember, with rights come responsibilities. Let's uplift and respect each other and stand against injustice. Together, we can make Jamaica a better place for ourselves and future generations. Know your rights. Embrace your responsibilities. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Elevate your knowledge in the world of healthcare and pharmaceuticals at the 40th Annual Pharmaceutical Conference. The Innovative Conference is back and better than ever under the theme Pharmacists Leading the Future for Sustainable Healthcare. Join Nationwide 90 FM from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the Talk Up Youth and Design Studio on September 6th as we broadcast live from the Princess Grand Jamaica Hotel, Green Island, Negril. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. Join us for the most anticipated pharmaceutical conference of the year. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica and Portmore Mall Pharmacy.
Track and Field's global showpiece heads back to Asia for its 2025 staging. The World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan is live on Nationwide 90 FM. September 13 to 21.
Great start from Seville, who's got a little bit of a march on Noel Lyles. Seville's going to win this. Brilliant race. He even has time to salute.
How will the Jamaicans stack up? The likes of Kishane, Oblique, Nikisha, Tina, Sherika and Lavelle all seeking podium spots.
Really good running on the near side too from Tia Clayton. Tia Clayton takes it there.
And the world will say goodbye to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Watch for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
She brings the curtain down on her 18-year career. She goes back to where it all started.
And she's going to do it. Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price.
Live every moment from the World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan, September 13 to 21 live with a kind of coverage only Nationwide 90 FM provides.
Sell out. Them try clip we wings, somehow we can't fly out. But when we there yard, nothing nice like Jamaica. Roast breadfruit and banana. Under the tree with a glass of lemonade. Jumping at the river when me ready for bed. No boy can't buy me out. Me no foreign minded, no way compared to Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love.
Welcome back to the Talk Up Your Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, right here on Nationwide at 90 FM. Today is all about the youth and elections, and we have a special guest with us in studio. We have Alex Mort, a member of Young Jamaica, and also Peter K. Ferguson, General Secretary of the PMP YO. Just before the break, we were talking about manifesto versus track record.
And the love letter to Jamaica versus the track records in the achievement movement.
Right.
Very nice, exciting conversation. You're just feeling the passion in the room, and we're referring it through because we have so much more to cover. So let's get into the next crossfire one, guys. Youth and jobs and opportunities. Jamaica's youth unemployment rate remains a significant concern. According to Statin, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, as of April 2025, that's this year, the youth unemployment rate stood at 10.1%, with a notable 33.3% decrease from the previous year. So that is why now the Jamaica Labour Party is boasting and saying unemployment is down. Despite this improvement, many young Jamaicans still face challenges in securing stable employment. Given this context, what concrete solutions does your party propose to create real, sustainable jobs for young people? And I would add, that is giving me a job equivalent to my qualifications, skills, and experience. Starting with you, Alex.
What I would say first is that the Jamaica Labour Party has ensured that we heavily invest in heart. We have ensured that we put the money and the effort behind heart. Now, when you attend heart is free up to level 4, which is equivalent to an associate degree. Now, what does that mean? You are then qualified to go into the workforce at a stable earning figure. Now, what else do we do? What else happens in the Jamaica Labour Party? No. What Jamaica Labour Party has pushed under the current administration is that we pay people to attend heart. So you're given a travel stipend, you're given payment, a stipend just to go, you're given lunch, and at the point of you being certified, you are given a grant to buy the equipment to carry out your trade. So what we're doing, we're ensuring that you have no blockages to learning. We'll make sure you cannot say that you can't make it to school because you don't have the bus fare. You can't say you don't have the lunch money. And when you leave, you can't say, I have the skill, but I don't have the money for start the job. You have everything. That is how we do it. What we say is that we encourage the people to learn, to become certified. We have scholarships that are of the medical scholarship. We have so many scholarships now that literally what the point of it is to ensure that the people of the country are certified.
So they're certified and educated. Tell me about now the underemployment issue. That's the real
Right.
thing for me. We've all been
Exactly.
boasting unemployment is down. What I need to hear now is about the underemployment issue. What is the Jamaica Labour Party doing to fix that?
Well, what we have done is that we have heavily invested in AI. We have heavily invested in... So these are emerging industries that you can see that in other regions, they earn heavily. So we have the AI, which is really, really big. That is the IT, the programming, even the regular, even ChatGPT that people use generally. As a matter of fact, we have things like Turnitin, which is something that checks plagiarism.
Right.
So we invest heavily in AI. We have Heart investing heavily in AI. We have... What we're trying to do now is really build industries And the point of building industries is to create new jobs. We are bringing in and start, even the tourism sector has been increased. We are expanding tourism sector.
So this is not just about giving jobs, but giving jobs to match your skill set.
Match your skill set. And there's some industries that are really needing of employees.
Got you.
And that's it.
Peter, get your response.
Well, I can say for us, we think that in the party, based on our consultations that we've done, we see where young people not only want opportunities for, better paying jobs, they also want to ensure that they can, create businesses, and also that whatever skills and talents they have, they can stay right here in Jamaica and leverage that right across the world.
Mm-hmm.
So there are no more bridges, with the internet, it has built that global bridge to
globalization.
Sort of that divide, yeah. So we have that looking at, and that is why we've said that in the People's National Party, when we look at it, you talk about upskilling and all of that, we look at that, we know that is something that is critical, because a lot of young people will live in a low-tech, low-wage economy, and we want to ensure that not just that they're trained and that they have access to education, even remedial programs, because, the educational outcome is sort of on the low now.
Right.
So we want to ensure that they can, in whatever areas, training, and after programs for people who didn't do well in school but need a second chance. We also have the Young Persons Innovative Fund. So if you have a business idea and you want to take that on, the government, the next PNP government after September 3 will ensure that you can access that fund to create your own business or to do whatever it is that you need to do to get that start that you need in life. Not only that, the cultural and the creative industries,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big industry that is making a lot of money, but we aren't leveraging brand Jamaica, and we have a lot of talented and gifted people here who need that access as well. So we're saying that everybody in the cultural and creative industries, once you have that skill, we're creating that fund for you so you can, get the boost and the platform that you need, whether it's to take your product globally or it is that you want to stay here, you're a studio engineer, you're an artist, whatever it is that you do, fine arts. We want to ensure that the opportunities are there for you to leverage all those opportunities and you can become your best selves. So we're not just looking at fixing, the job underemployment itself, but we want to ensure that people can realize whatever talents and skills they have and maximize that.
And do you believe then that, as you said, this leveraging and this, giving the ones who never had a formal opportunity to get a second chance will fix some of these issues with unemployment and also, even underemployment?
Yes, and also what we have when we're looking at even agriculture. Agriculture is something that is a big sector for us, but it only accounts for about 9% of our GDP currently, which is very low. Mm-hmm. So we also want to encourage more young people to come into agriculture and understand that it's not a little poor man's job. You can make a lot of money if you, invest in the right way. And we also want people to look at also creating final products. So that is why we say we're coming up with the agricultural, development fund, because we want to ensure that we grow that sector. And also when we look at the logistics hub, that in and of itself will create a plethora of opportunities for young people and others in the sector. So those are some of the things that we're looking at.
Thanks for sharing that, Peter K. There's something that I want to bring in one of our YouTubers because we want to broaden the whole matter of
scope and discussion,
on youth representation. But here's a question from one of our YouTubers, and this is more so for Alex. So these things that the JLP are doing now, were they in the pipeline from way back, or is it because of the election? I have never voted before. I'm neither JLP nor PNP. Just trying to get clarity.
These things, no.
Like the heart.
Right, yeah. So
no, man. All these things have been ongoing. We have had scholarships ongoing. The only program I would say that would be new would be the where you're paid to go pay. That's the only new program. Heart has been a constant.
So the free education up to, let's say, a certain level.
That was a different. Yep.
Okay.
So
paying you to go to school, a part of it. Okay.
So they always had a step.
Yeah.
There's a change to the program into the bus, the grant after you graduate. That is the only
new.
So in addition to those areas relating to the skill set, so I believe perhaps what the listener is saying, if I could go a little further. All the things that we see the government is rolling out now in this season, these are things that are already in the pipeline, but it's not just because of the election.
No. So let's be clear. Anyone
you
who
mean like the cutting of the ribbon?
yeah, man. Okay. So we're talking about the ribbon cutting. Let's cut ribbon. So all right. Let's talk about the ribbon cutting. So anyone with any knowledge of government policy, government procurement knows that it does not happen overnight. There's a long process. There are many people involved, aristocrats we could call them involved, and so when you see people cutting ribbons, every project has a commencement date, and these dates are announced. So when you have things that are being opened, let's say in August, if you check back a budget debate for 2023, you will hear where it will say in 2025 in August we will commence cutting. You know what I mean? So that is the thing. A lot of people are seeing what happens is now election season, so people are paying heavily attention to it. But we don't campaign on promises and cutting
That's
ribbons.
not true.
No.
That's not true.
Let him finish.
This is his second round, you know.
Yeah,
this is second. I want you to make note of that.
No, but
this is second round.
The question was directed to me, so I have to answer
based
the
on
question.
the YouTuber, yes.
You are not in your position, man.
No, but let's respond. Let's respond.
Yes,
to based on the
Remember
question.
that parliament is now dissolved.
Sorry.
And the problem you people have is
Wait,
that
hold on,
you
Peter, hold on, Peter,
until election. What you're doing, that's
so he is the opposition
Let him finish,
leader.
let him finish.
It doesn't matter.
By the Constitution of
Tell him to
Jamaica,
get to the point. Tell him to get to the point. Get to the point, Alex. Alex, get to the point.
Hold on,
So
Peter.
answer the
Get to the
question
point.
now.
So, what we're saying here is we don't cut ribbons because of election. We cut ribbons because we're doing for Jamaica. And guess what? You see, even though the election is on September 3, we cannot stop the business of Jamaica and say, okay, it's campaigning time. We have to continue the work. So, so the work continues before, during, after election.
I like that the two of you made a very important point because we're educating our listeners as well.
Right.
You mentioned something. So educate and inform our listeners know what you were just saying, Peter Gay, that what happens when Parliament is dissolved.
So when Parliament is dissolved, right, you have the ministers who are still there to, carry out their work and so on. And then the opposition leader remains. Now, you don't have any members of Parliament and the Senate is no longer. So literally, it's just a frame of what you understand that exists, and that's why I'm saying you can't come down and say, "Oh, the business still goes on," because a lot of constituencies where there are representatives, you don't have nobody to go to Parliament go represent you. No, you have to be there looking out and seeing, what is happening. When I come out and I look on my avenue 2 days before they announce the election, them just cutting the road, digging up the road, leaving it there for a couple of days after the announcement. Then they came back. That is annoying to me.
So currently you're saying, to educate the listeners again, once Parliament is dissolved, only ministers and the leaders, the leader of the opposition, is the Prime Minister as well still there?
Yes, still there.
So in response, Alex, you were saying something about, when she was saying in the moment, in educating us, that something about the Constitution, what the Constitution was saying about what?
Exactly.
So the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister remains.
And ministers.
So help our listeners and our viewers to understand. So both of you are saying, even though Parliament is dissolved, if any, what we say now, executive or emergency decisions are to be made in this season of dissolution, the Prime Minister or leader of opposition can still make it?
So they're still there to, carry out whatever needs to be carried out. So, and what happens is that whatever projects or anything that's there, those decisions are made and finalized before the announcement. So anything you see happening now, they would have already said, all right, we need to sign off on this, we need to get that done. And you see it happening, but the representation, the kind of representation that you need across all 63 constituencies is no more, until September 3 when the People's National Party will form the next government, And I want to say, I want to say, you see what people, and this is why a lot of young people are so apathetic towards the political process, because time and time again, it just feels as though it's always when it's close to an election that you see your parliamentarians coming into the constituencies to show up, or that is when you see the work being done, ribbons being cut. It is disrespectful to the people of Western Jamaica to go and cut a ribbon to own an administrative building for Cornwall Regional Hospital when the people there actually need quality access to healthcare. Jamaicans are suffering. We have our healthcare system is one of the worst state. And I'm not talking about politics aside. I am a Jamaican. I hear the people. I I don't want to get sick because I don't want to have to go to the public system. And thank God I can afford to go elsewhere. A lot of Jamaicans cannot afford that care. And that is something that we must face. I don't have time to play politicking, you know. The healthcare system is bad. When you remove the road maintenance fund and then you come and implement Spark and Reach, and then it's only at a certain time that you see the work being done. No, we need to ensure that there's a consistent fund that allows for periodic upgrades and for the roads to be taken care of in a timely manner. You can't wait to establish, which is why it is so costly. And then when they do the work, it's not done properly. And then you see the roads being eroded. As soon as little rainfall, the roads start mash up.
The story of
that is not
so
good.
We're almost out of time for this segment. So we hear your PCK, we hear Alex. So what I want both of you to do is put it into context. So this is it. What is your direct message to a first-time voter? Persons who are listening to this program, watching to this program right now, they're saying that my vote doesn't matter because politicians don't seem to care about us.
So that apathy.
Right. How do you respond to that person? Yeah. Alex.
Me? Okay. What I would say is, as a young person, as any person, you have to ensure that your voice is heard. Now, when I always say, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. So when you are going to that poll, you're going to say, this is who I want to represent me. I believe in these people. This is what I want for my country. So you have to, I do understand the thought process because we do have 18 and a half years of corruption that people struggle to go through. And we do have that scenario where people really look at politicians and they're like, they do nothing for me. But in reality, what we do, we release the achievements book, we're going to say, we're saying, this is what we have done. That a manifesto as yet, an achievements book. The point is to say, this is what we have done. A manifesto will then say, this is what we are going to do. So I want you guys to understand that the reason the Jamaica Labour Party took the direction of releasing an achievements book is to say, here, look at it, read it. You can see what we have done. And if you don't know, we will bring it to you. Because in reality, some people really don't know. Other young people are not interested in current affairs. So I guess we have to bring it to them. So the achievement booklet, it puts everything. Well, not everything, I'm sorry to say. If we put everything, would we need a forklift? We're going to bring all the achievements in one little book. We need a forklift. Yeah. So it puts some things one place. And it says, here, read it. This is what we have done.
And this is how young people are. First-time voters can find out why you care. How can young persons find out more information about Young Jamaica? Or what are your socials?
YoungJamaica.jlp on Instagram. I'm Alex Mort at Alex Mort JM actually on everything.
Okay. And they can connect with you.
You can connect with me on social media. You can connect with Young Jamaica on social media. You can join Young Jamaica. Head to the Instagram page. There's a link. Become a member. And we'll reach out to you.
Okay. Peace again. Why first-time voters shouldn't be apathetic, and where can they find out more info about the PNP?
Well, I would say for first-time voters, you have a reason to actually vote in this election. There's a clear distinction between the PNP and the JLP. And I would say to you, in particular, go to pages 14, so 12 to 14 of our manifesto, and also pages 47 if you want to see directly what we're offering to you as young people. Also, we are not giving you a leader whose statutory declarations aren't certified. We aren't giving you MP candidates who are accused of beating their partners in public. We aren't giving you members of parliament or candidates who aren't. We are not providing you with people to represent you who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. We're not giving you candidates and a team who has presided over the most corrupt time in our history, where it is that which actually leads to poor representation in the country. We're saying to you, we're giving you a leader with clean hands, clean heart, a justice minister who has a great track record, who has ensured that Jamaican youth who were oppressed by the use of small quantities of marijuana have now been liberated from that and can say, yes, they can travel, they can get jobs and make themselves somebody in this country. We're putting plans for us to move you and the country forward. Housing, education, business opportunities. We want to ensure that Jamaica is safe. It's a place where you can grow, raise your families, do business, and thrive. Follow us at PNPYOJA on all social media platforms. And you can follow me, Peter Gay Ferguson JM, on Instagram. We're here to keep the conversation going.
I love it. Peter Gay and Alex, thank you so much for stopping by. I know it's a very busy season for both of you.
Yes, it is.
But you took the time to come out.
Yes.
And it also shows the importance of you educating and informing our listeners. And at the end of the day, I'm glad that the conversation was very spirited, but very respectful, which is what is important. Because what I want us to leave in this break for the young people to understand, at the end of the day, when the green and the orange draw down, we are all still black, green, and gold. We're all Jamaicans that will have to work together and have to live together. And we have to be respectful. And we as young people, in creating a new culture of excellence through politics as part of governance, need to let our parents and our poor parents know the gang violence and the misery have to done.
Stop the tearing down of
billboards. To be very nice and respectful at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, we have this opportunity to choose. Many countries and many people don't have this opportunity to choose.
Have been destroyed.
So we must make sure that we're respectful. At the end of the day, and we can't just and have fun, but at the end of the day, we're all Jamaicans. So very best wishes to both of you. Your parties, I must applaud the work that both Young Jamaica and the PMPY was doing to engage young people in this way, to get them involved, and just all the very best for September 3 and beyond.
Yeah.
So remember now, talk of you, Mustafi.
Talk of youth.
We still come back.
To the link, and the Canadian, American, England. Make sure say when they are found and office, mama visit Western Union.
Educators, it's your summer your way. Let's go. Upgrade your ride with the sweet summer sale from the JTA. Cooperative Credit Union.
Educators, take the driver's seat with the sweet summer sale from the JTA Credit Union. Ride in style with a new car or take that well-deserved vacation with a personal loan. Low interest rates, flexible terms, and fast approval. It's your summer your way. For more info, call 876-618-1706.
The sweet summer sale from the JTA. Cooperative Credit Union.
Serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Outperform, outlast. We top performance. Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Pan select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-6111-4. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Parents, make this back-to-school season hassle-free and visit Stationery World and Book Center Limited. Get books for all ages, school supplies, uniforms, shoes, and much more. You can also get your office supplies and office furniture at one location. WhatsApp your book list to 876-298-1526 or visit them in Kingston at 5 Sandringham Avenue or their new location at Morant Bay Urban Center, St. Thomas. Call 876-618-7922 or 876-619-093122. Stationery World, there is meaning in our name.
Elevate your knowledge in the world of healthcare and pharmaceuticals at the 40th Annual Pharmaceutical Conference. The Innovative Conference is back and better than ever under the theme Pharmacists Leading the Future for Sustainable Healthcare. Join Nationwide 90 FM from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. with the Talk Up Youth and Design Studio on September 6th as we broadcast live from the Princess Grand Jamaica Hotel, Green Island, Negril. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. Join us for the most anticipated pharmaceutical conference of the year, only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica and Portmore Mall Pharmacy.
It's time for a new look. And high time to get serious about protecting our home and investment.
It's time to choose BH Paints with over 60 years experience in quality paint finishes. Their products are superior and long-lasting.
Time to check them out.
Ask about BH Paint's 100% acrylic Ultima Plus paint and primer in one. Experience rich colors with advanced UV and mildew-resistant technologies, independently tested by experts. What are you waiting for? Visit a BH Paints Color Center today.
Track and Field's global showpiece heads back to Asia for its 2025 staging. The World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan is live on Nationwide 90 FM. September 13 to 21.
Great start from Seville, who's got a little bit of a march on No Lyles. Seville's going to win this. Brilliant rid. He even has time to salute.
How will the Jamaicans stack up? The likes of Kishane, Oblique, Nikisha, Tina, Sherika, and Lavelle, all seeking podium spots.
Really good running on the near side too from Tia Clayton. Tia Clayton takes it there.
And the world will say goodbye to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
Watch for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
She brings the curtain down on her 18-year career. She goes back to where it all started.
And she's going to do it. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
Live every moment from the World Athletics Championships from Tokyo, Japan, September 13 to 21 live with a kind of coverage only Nationwide 90 FM provides.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Talk up youth and talk the truth. I ask for the bush that representing for Talk Up Youths. Here and Nationwide, 90 FM, every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bush!
Are you ready? Are you ready?
When the roll is called out, I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. Never say never, willingness forever to fight and be strong. Once it's for better, I'll write every letter and moving right along. And I'll roll with the punches, accept changes, work with the formula, do what I have to do, and call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never clock out. Lioness is on the rise, don't you ever have doubt. When you are willing to serve, we have room to observe, to see if you can walk the walk you talk. Let me give you my word, my voice must be heard. Bravery is a piece of my heart. Call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime, never cop out. A lioness is on the rise, don't ever have no doubt. When the roll is called up, we'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of time. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the
Welcome back to the Talk Up Youth Radio Show, the voice of the Jamaican youth, and today we are all about the voices of young people and elections. This is election season 2025, and we did have some partisan or affiliated young persons with Young Jamaica and the PNPYO just now. We had a spirited discussion with Alex and Peter Gay, but now we are joined by non-affiliated young persons to hear their views and perspectives, and so we are joined by Yannick Tracy and Decardejo Nelson. Yannick Tracy is a dynamic youth leader, educator, and policy consultant who has dedicated her life to empowering young people and breaking generational barriers. She holds a double major in counseling and education and an executive master's in education and leadership management from the Michael University College. Yannick serves as a program consultant for the International Republican Institute, IRI, Washington, D.C., and is also the director of operations at Tracy's Training and Consulting, where she designs and executes transformative youth programs across Jamaica. Her journey journey from humble beginnings in Nannyville Gardens, to become a McCain Global Fellow in Washington, D.C. is a testament of resilience, vision, and determination. She has represented Jamaica internationally, championing issues such as education, youth empowerment, constitutional reform, and leadership development. She's a past youth parliamentarian and co-chair of the Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica. Yannick is no stranger to this platform. She is among the first ever guests interviewed on the first Talk Up Youth episode when it first aired, making today's feature a full circle moment as she returns with even greater impact, insights, and experiences to inspire Jamaica's youth. And she is, of course, an I Believe Initiative ambassador. Welcome back, Yannick, because like I was saying, welcome back, Yannick.
Thank you for having me. It's been surreal. It's been wonderful. It's been lovely. The only person who can get me out of hibernation is one of my mentee, and he's a producer here, so I definitely made the trip. So
for your mentee, big up to our in-studio producer today, Mr. Curdy Nelson. Eccleston is Decardejo on now, and we're also joined online by, I'm not seeing him on my screen, Decardejo Nelson. Are you there? Yes, I see you now.
Another one of my star mentee, I see.
And Decardejo Nelson is an accomplished tertiary student leader, debater extraordinaire, and public commentator with a strong passion for governance, policy, and international relations. He currently serves as president of the University of Technology Jamaica Debating and Public Speaking Society and as deputy programs manager at the Jamaica Association for Debating and Empowerment, JADE Limited, which is a longtime partner and friend of the Talk Up Youth radio show. Decardejo is also a former national youth parliamentarian and just an excellent all-round youth leader. Welcome to the show, Decardejo. Are you hearing us, Decardejo? I see him grinning off on the Zoom, but not hear him.
His mouth is moving.
Okay, our producer is sorting that out. But in the meantime, Yannick, as we said, full circle moment. So literally, you are Talk Up Youth royalty.
Of course.
You are a legacy. Indeed. You started when we were on TV, and now you're here with us. So, yes, Decardejo, we're hearing you now. Welcome to the show. How are you feeling today? I think I'm chipping.
Good morning. I am doing wonderful. Very glad to be here. Actually, I'd say glad to be here once more. This is actually my second time on the show. So it's indeed a privilege to be here and to share space and all the idea as a great role model for many of us youth leaders in Jamaica.
You make Ella sweat big like a Julie mango. It's going to jump off of the tree.
My dearest.
But good questions, good vibes. Good to have both of you here. So let me start with you, Yannick. Do you feel politics in Jamaica really represents young people? Why or why not?
Do I think politics really represent young people? To be honest, it's there, but it's not there.
Okay.
You know, in my opinion, I think I would love to see more young people representing at a higher level. You know, I know that we have the highest level of representation, which they call it is the National Youth Advisory Council of Jamaica. And to be honest, I think seeing a member of parliament under 35 is something that I would love to see happen in this country, you know, and with that type of representation, it breeds more, you know, need to want to become, you know, having that aspiring representation out there. That's one thing I definitely want to see. So that's really my why. I need to see people that look like us sitting in Garden House, you know, pushing the policies that really directs to the young people, and not only just pushing out policies just like that, but doing the needs assessment, being on the ground with these young people, seeing that, you know, these things are being curtailed in the manner that the prevalent issues are being used. So does it represent that? It can. It can.
I like that. There's the opportunity or the scope.
Yes.
Decardejo, as a young leader and debater, how do you find the role of youth in shaping Jamaica's democracy? Decardejo. We used to call him Decardejo.
Yeah. Diego is fine for the listening audience, but I think the role of democracy, especially for young persons are concerned, is of vital importance. As you know, I think I heard it earlier in time in previous conversation with the two representatives that, a lot of political representatives as exist now are old people. And so, as Yannick says, having someone under 35 is very, it would be a very good look for democracy, because as you see it in countries like Barbados, where you have young people even with as far as the Senate, that is something that's very reassuring to us as young people, because we want to feel like we have a voice in our democracy so that we can be more active in it. Even touching back on the question that you asked Yannick earlier, as to young persons feeling that they're represented, I think yes, they are, but the extent to which that representation is felt is very limited, meaning that it's only a select persons, like those who are affiliated with the party, actively campaigning, with them, actively on the streets with them. Those are the persons who actually feel the immediate tangible returns of that kind of political need. Persons who are unaffiliated, persons who are on the fence, persons who feel like they have, the immediacy, because we're a generation of immediacy. Those persons are actively, are away from government, being more apathetic. And so, for us, persons that having more representation, but therefore means that we have, more persons being more inclined to want to participate in these procedures.
Diego, as a lover of the English language, we're not taking it for granted that any of our listeners and viewers understand the terms. And sometimes we use words that we might say are big and are not even big. But explain for our listeners, what is a democracy? I think that's very important. We use the word very loosely all the time, but what is a democracy and why is Jamaica a democracy?
All right. If you were to take the standard or the English dictionary's definition of it, democracy means simply more than one voice is at the table and being represented equally. It's never equal in the literal sense, but for what makes Jamaica a democracy is the very fact that we're able, to some extent, to represent persons from differing backgrounds, trying to make their voices heard. That's why we have things like representational politics. We elect for MPs so that they can advocate for the things that we want. And so why it's important for Jamaica is because I guess we'll talk about it later when you have things like voter apathy, but we have to recognize that in order for our voices to be heard, we have to speak up, and we have to ensure that these voices, especially of young persons, are actually heard and that they are represented well.
I like that, Diego. So I like how you mentioned that point about if the voices are heard, they're represented. So Yannick, now throwing to you then, what do you think then about this? If you don't vote, you can't complain. What do you say to young people about that comment?
If you don't vote, you can't complain, regardless of, as a Jamaican, regardless of if you believe that if a person does not vote, they can't complain. That's not true. Whether or not they vote or not, a complaint, if they see something out of place and they see something that needs to be worked on, they have a right because they're Jamaicans. You know what I mean? But I implore people to believe in democracy and believe in voting, because that is how your voices are heard. And at the end of the day, regardless of what the status quo is, regardless of what is being presented to you, what you believe is true, do your own research. Go out there, be on the grounds. As I tell all my past mentees in Youth Parliament, needs assessment has to be done. Go on the floors, go to the people, talk to the people. Don't just chum up your own idea that this is what they might be facing. You know what I mean? I believe in going on the ground, being totally non-partisan, choosing rightly based on the work being done. You know what I mean?
Assessment.
Do an objective assessment for yourself, not because you are a part of this or a part of that means that you have to. No. Create your own idea, do your own observation, do your direct observation, look at the statistics, look at what's been happening, and be true to yourself and go out and vote based on that criteria.
You're just riding on the wheels of what Diego was saying about apathy and saying, yes, young people must go out. So a question for both of you now. Is it that young people don't care about politics, or they just don't care about the politicians? Diego and then Yan.
I would say it's both, really. It's because it starts with the politicians, really, those who represent them. The politicians aren't doing what they promised to do for you, which is why you probably want to vote for them in the first place. Right. Then you're apathetic to the politicians. But when you see that is something that exists on the wider scale across Jamaica, or probably just even internationally, it becomes the sentiment towards politics as a construct or as a literal thing. You're automatically towards politics because politics isn't doing what you believe politics should be doing for you, and so you find other alternatives to go about your own life.
Got you. What about you, Yan?
I think based on research and anecdotals, it suggests that young people are very interested in politics. They are interested in what's happening in their country. They're interested in what policies will affect them. They're interested. You know what I believe is happening? I believe that they feel unheard, unseen. They feel unheard, they feel unseen. And they feel as if it doesn't make any sense because if I talk, if I do this, if I say this, if I present this, it does not matter. And I can tell you based off being the technical director for National Youth Parliament, I can tell you that when these young people put pen to paper, do their research, create their own resources of information to what needs to be done, and we as advisory create a report and ensure that everything that these young people are championing for over 4 years, since I think we did 4 cycles of youth parliament, and these young people become very disappointed a couple months after youth parliament is closed, and they're like, the information was sent. Of course we're going to send your information is in. Of course reports are going in. So they feel unseen, they feel unheard, they feel like no, it doesn't matter what they say or do. It's like, all right, it's just a cycle of this
a wave and that's
facade. You know what I mean? So I think they feel unseen and unheard, and I think our politicians can do so much more by engaging with young people for real. Engaging with them for real so they feel seen and heard, and put their ideas out there so they can feel as if what they're saying makes sense and they're at the table putting down things and not just, at the table because I want you to be there to see you
a token
or for a photo up. You know what I mean?
That. All right, so pushing you both in the hot seat. Diego, if you had 5 minutes with the Prime Minister, what issue would you bring up first? We're not 5 minutes now, so give it to me. That's 30 seconds.
30 seconds, Diego.
We should wrap up.
All right, so it's really the general issue that young persons face most, which is employment. We recognize that you announced that employment is at an all-time low, 4.2% or something like that. Well, the problem with that exists is the quality of employment sufficient for young people? I think not, because a lot of times when persons graduate from university, when they graduate, or even university, when they graduate from high school, more specifically, they matriculate into the BPO sector, and that's their life. They're working $500 an hour. That's $20,000 a week or something, like just barely above the minimum wage, which is insufficient in today's economy for persons to be able to support themselves, support their family. Just working a wage like that is hardly enough for you to pay your transportation to work, to home, and even buy lunch. So you have no way in which you can save or even make a little investment or a little high side or something like that. So
that's what you would bring to his attention first and foremost. Yan, your 5 minutes with the Prime Minister. What would you tell him?
First and foremost, the first thing I would definitely want to bring forward is about the young people that are slipping through the cracks. We have a lot of programs. We have a lot of agencies that deal with these things, but are they connecting with the young people that are slipping through the cracks? The ones that are slipping through the cracks. I could have slipped through the cracks. I'm from a inner city community, and I never had certain things to look up to. So for me is, how do we catch these young people that are slipping through the cracks?
Unattached
also. I created a program that is called APSI program. It's a behavioral management and tracing program that I developed through COVID-19 when there was a huge contact tracing issue with learning loss, young men dropping out of school. And I created that program when I was under advisory and doing my program work, and I submitted that to the ministry because I saw that as an issue that needed to be corrected. When you see that age 14 to 25 or the young people that are being highly driven to crime and violence, and those persons are the ones that are slipping through the cracks. We need to create action plans that target these issues so that their prevalence can die down. And if that is something that can happen, it will impact the economy positively. Because
so it's
connections, and even underemployment and unemployment. Can you imagine a young person that give their life to service in Jamaica, have 3 degrees, has represented Jamaica on the highest scale, has difficulty due to patriotism and due to the fact that she loves her country, wants to remain here to work, and she cannot get a job. That is something that needs to be looked into and studied, because if she cannot be an example that Jamaica is prospering with education, talent, experience, that means that something is definitely wrong and something needs to be done.
I like that.
I rest.
The debaters are here and getting to see your mentee clapping you, then Diego, I clap you. You see, Corey B mentioned here, and we're listening to the live as well on YouTube. He said, young people need to take initiatives. Politicians not engaging you, take initiatives and engage them. You are lazy and want things on a platter as well. So he's saying you also need to balance it out. Yes, it is that the politicians need to come to you, but we need to go to them. I think that's just another side of the coin that we need to add to the perspective as well. That even though Yanni is saying yes, we need them to engage us. Young people also have to take initiative. And I think I'd add
But Malik, I definitely agree with that. But based on what you and I have seen and lived through when we are dealing with these young people, they're very assertive. They go for what they want.
As well.
They go, they talk, they say their piece. I'm not going to undermine the young mentees that I've met. We have mentored over 400 plus young professionals in this country, and we see their hunger, we see their drive, we see their desire, we see them speaking, we see they go, we see them kick down doors. But what does that do? That doesn't do anything. They're still
Exhibit Cardade,
Exhibit A, Exhibit B.
There you go. Whew. So, finally, if you had one message to give to young Jamaicans listening right now about civic participation, what would that be? Because you see, overall, this whole discussion about governance and elections is about civic participation. Why should young people listen to this message now? What message would you give them? Starting with you, Diego, and then Yan.
Well, in particular, in terms of civic engagement, I really want persons to be more informed about what's happening in their country, current affairs, and things to that effect. I find oftentimes when persons go out when I go out and interact with young persons,
yes,
it's usually, like myself, I should add, it's usually the case that they don't know a lot of stuff that's happening in their country. They don't know a lot about the opportunities that exist. And so it's only like during political climates like election where one party is issuing an achievements book and another is issuing manifestos that they actually know what's happening in their country, because they might read it or they might just listen to what is on the media, which is another problem. Young persons like myself oftentimes don't critically analyze what is put out in the media. That is to say, we just take what's posted on TikTok, on Instagram, or other platforms, and that is it. That's the gospel that we preach. That's the gospel that we live by, and we'll actually analyze: does this make sense? Does the statistics match? I mean, I'm not telling you to read statistics, but like to critically analyze what is happening in your country and how does that immediately affect you.
It's important.
It's a case that enough is important. If it's a case that it's not being done in a way in which you want it to be done, advocate for it. Join youth platforms, join the National Youth Parliament, join Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network, the National Youth Advisory Council, things to that effect, and make your voice heard. You can't just sit down and wait for persons to hand you things that time has long passed. You have to get out there as a young person and go for what you want.
Thanks so much, Jan.
All I can say is that voting is one of our most important civic duty as citizens of this country. Young people, I implore you, September 3rd, it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, find the time to go and exercise your right to vote. Democracy is our civic duty. And it is something that we should, regardless of if we feel seen or unheard or think that it will not do anything. Trust me when I tell you, exercise that right to vote. And when you see the outcome and you realize that you are a part of that movement, you will be pleased with yourselves.
Boy, I love that. Diego and Yannick, just thank you so much for stopping by, just leaving these pearls of wisdom and an added perspective to what is expected of young people. I think, producer, we have another part 2 to this in this season. The views are on fire, the people are on fire, the people are engaged, and the people want to be a part of this process. But I like what both Diego and Yannick have said to us today. Be involved, participate. Civic in participation also means that you need to also do your own research and look and observe and critically think. Don't just take things at face value. But consultation and needs assessment. But thank you so much, Yannick and Diego, for passing by today. This has been a wonderful episode, and we are closing now because we're on the hour. But want to just say thanks and big up all the time to our executive producer, Empress Golding. Thank you for this platform, this space that we can engage in these discussions. YouTube is still on fire. The people are on fire engaging, and we just have to big you up and bless you up all the time, Mama E. To our producers today in studio and also doubled up in the chair as a host, Damian Scarlett, producer boss, and the junior producer boss, Curtin Eccleston. Thank you so much for this wonderful show today. To our studio engineer, David McNeese. There's no us without David, making sure that we are on the beat, on time, and I'm running out of time right now. And of course, to our nationwide 90 FM executive team for keeping us all the time on radio, on air, each and every Saturday. So on behalf of the entire Talk Up Youth radio show and the nationwide news network, we want to wish for you a safe, restful weekend, an enjoyable weekend, but also to remember that democracy, governance, and civic participation is who we are. So this is the Talk Up Youth radio show, the voice of the Jamaican youth. Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie. Talk Up Youth. See you next time. See you next week. Bye, everyone.
I'll be standing taller to face the darkest and the hardest of times. We'll be taking care of all the children thereof, but if it's required, we'll be on the front line. You can call me by my name, I am ready to roll. Once the rules remain the same, how the story's been told. Call me anytime.
Importers, Clear Customs, not your schedule. Download the JA Customs Connect mobile app from the Google